The rain came down in a relentless torrent, washing over the city and blurring the neon lights into streaks of color on the wet pavement. Under the small awning of a convenience store, Shiwan sat hunched over, a tiny island of misery in a sea of rain. The cold glow of her phone screen lit up her face, showing a picture that felt like a punch to the gut, her ex-boyfriend, beaming, with his arm around his new girlfriend. The caption, "Finally found you," was a cruel twist of the knife. A small, bitter laugh escaped her lips. She was done looking. She tossed the phone into her bag, as if that could make the image disappear from her mind. Suddenly, a pair of immaculate black leather shoes entered her field of vision, stopping just short of the puddle she was staring into. She lifted her head slowly. A man stood before her, holding a large black umbrella against the downpour. He was tall, with a sharp defined jawline and eyes that seemed to hold a quiet intensity, as if they could see right through her carefully constructed walls. Rain had already soaked one of his shoulders, yet the umbrella was angled completely over her, shielding her from the storm. He didn't say a word, just watched her with that unnervingly calm gaze. Shiwan felt a defensive prickle. "What are you doing here again?" she asked, her voice softer than she intended. His voice was low and steady, a stark contrast to the drumming of the rain. "Getting rained on again?" "None of your business," she snapped back, hugging her knees tighter. He didn't argue. Instead, Jiu Chen bent down, his movements unhurried. He picked up the soggy paper bag she'd been clutching, then, in one smooth motion, shrugged off his dark wool coat and draped it over her shoulders. The fabric was heavy, and instantly, a wave of warmth enveloped her, chasing away some of the penetrating dampness. The coat carried the faint, clean scent of cedarwood, and beneath it, something warmer, something that was just him. Without thinking, Shiwan's fingers clutched the lapels. She could feel a blush creeping up her neck, her ears turning hot. Trying to regain some semblance of control, she mumbled, her voice muffled by the thick wool. "This coat looks expensive. Can you afford it if I get it dirty?" A low chuckle rumbled from his chest, slightly hoarse. "Can't afford it. So you'll have to come back with me." Shiwan froze, looking up at him bewildered. My building has a 24-hour dryer downstairs," he explained calmly, as if it were the most logical thing in the world. She just stared at him, the rain continuing its steady rhythm on the umbrella above them, creating a small, intimate world just for the two of them. Moments later, they were in the cramped space of an elevator. The silence was thick, broken only by the quiet hum of the machinery. Shiwan kept her head down, fixated on her soaked sneakers, too flustered to look at him. The air felt charged. Suddenly, she saw his hand move. Jiu Chen reached out, and his fingertips, surprisingly warm, gently brushed aside the damp strands of hair that were stuck to her cheek. He tucked them behind her ear, and for a fleeting second, the pad of his finger grazed her earlobe. A jolt, like a tiny electric current, shot through her. She went completely still, her breath catching in her throat. "Don't catch a cold," he murmured, his voice impossibly soft. Just then, a sharp ding broke the spell. The elevator doors slid open. Shiwan practically bolted out, her heart hammering against her ribs. She didn't look back, but she could feel his presence behind her. As Jiu Chen followed her slowly down the brightly lit hallway, a small, almost imperceptible smile played on his lips. This was a chase he was willing to take his time with. He knew that some things, and some people, were worth the wait. And as they walked towards his apartment, the storm outside seemed to fade into the background, replaced by a different kind of storm brewing between them.